Hey everyone, welcome back to your Money Your Life pod. We are on episode 262 of the podcast. Make sure before we get into it, you like, subscribe, 5-star rate and review this podcast. Like, subscribe, 5-star rate and review episode 262 of the pod. We're going to jump into a lot of things. And first and foremost, we're going to start with the market and also do the same thing on YouTube for those watching over there. Like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. Let's go over to what we're going to talk about today, which in first and foremost, again, is the market. We've opened up roughly, a little bit higher than flat today on the S&P 500, on the Nasdaq, pushing forward. The main things is a batch of earnings coming out. Tech companies have said their earnings now. They're releasing their numbers. I think we got Amazon today. Other big companies have released in the past couple of days. Google. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So yesterday, again, the market was a little bit higher, but today we're trading a little bit higher today. And then we're seeing that stock valuations, some people are saying, are rich. Well, we'll see if that holds. Again, we've got companies that are riding on momentum, riding on a bit of earnings, and riding on what's happened so far this year with inflation and with the Fed's track on inflation. So a lot of companies have come out. Labor, the cost of labor increased less than expected in the fourth quarter. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported Thursday. So again, that labor cost is going to affect a lot of companies as they report earnings. You're going to see if their bottom line is being affected by expenses. Jobless claims hit 219,000. That was higher than expected. So initial claims for unemployment insurance increased more than expected last week, but generally remained within a recent range. The Labor Department reported on Thursday. So that's another thing to look at. Roblox, their stock slid after bookings missed. So Roblox reported didn't have a great quarter. Carmack shares jumped. Peloton, what did Peloton do? Let's see. Peloton shares jumped after revenue beat and guidance raise. So shares of Peloton rose 14% in the pre-market Thursday after the company recorded better than expected revenue for its fiscal second quarter and raised its first full year forecast. For the period, Peloton posted revenue of 674 million, above the 644 million that analysts surveyed by LSEG were expecting. Okay, okay, so Peloton trying to make a little comeback, not nearly enough. So we've got a little bit of lay of the land. We'll talk about Google, we'll talk about Meta, all the tech companies as well, and what's going on. Amazon set to pass Walmart in revenue for the first time. Actually, that's a story I want to look at. We didn't have that on the docket, folks, but we are going to dive into that. Let's get into current news updates. So Amazon long ago passed Walmart in terms of market cap, because of course it's a growth company, so it's trading at a richer valuation than something like Walmart, which is like a value trade, been around for a while, stalwart. Some would consider blue chip. Both of them consider blue chip, right? But Amazon's more of a growth company, while Walmart's more of that value play. But the e-commerce giant Amazon is finally poised to leapfrog its brick and mortar rival by another key metric, revenue. For the past dozen years, Walmart held the distinction of being the top revenue generator each quarter. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So, like, think about the actual numbers when we're talking about like the stock price and different things. The numbers behind it are on the balance sheet, are on the income statement, the revenue generated. These are some things that should play into part with how the stock is trading. So Walmart had that distinction in 2012. It took over the oil giant ExxonMobil, according to LSEG senior research analyst. Walmart remained the leader after oil prices tumbled in subsequent years from their previously lofty levels. In the earnings release Thursday, though, Amazon is expected to report revenue of 187 billion. According to analysts, that would be higher than what's projected for Walmart when they report on February 20th of 180 billion. So that'll be the first time. And look at even Apple, let's hit the 100 billion revenue club, and this is the quarterly revenues. So in a span of 3 months, Amazon does 187 billion, Walmart does 180 billion, Apple 124 billion, and United Health Group, wow, they're at 101 billion. They're raking in some cash over there. United Health Group, interesting. So Walmart, which is often dubbed as the world's biggest retailer in reference to its revenue, still leads the way when it comes to annual sales. So, okay, annually, look at quarters every 3 months, then you look at the annual. The company has turned in more than 600 billion in sales in each of the past 2 years. That number is expected to reach nearly 681 billion for the latest fiscal year. Amazon is catching up, though. Based on fourth quarter estimates, Amazon's full year revenue for 2024 will come in around 638 billion, marking the first time it surpassed 600 billion milestone. Interesting. You're talking about billions here. Like these are big companies. that we're talking about. The COVID pandemic also recently altered consumer behavior more to online. Very few companies even reach 100 billion in revenue in a quarter. So yeah, this is a really, really interesting story to me. Again, when you're talking about what's driving an actual share price, a lot of these things are cloaked underneath it that people don't ever read. Of course, we do because we have that time and the research ability and that background in finance and in these nuanced statements, company statements to do so. So interesting story there. I'm going to keep an eye on that for the future. So OpenAI, we talked about OpenAI, the artificial intelligence company. They're going to run a Super Bowl ad. They're going to pay that, what was it, 8 million? Viewers can expect to see a face-off between the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia during Sunday's Super Bowl, and they have an ad for ChatGPT maker OpenAI. The artificial intelligence company is expected to air its first ever TV commercial during the game as competition from major deep red pocketers heat up. You saw that Google announced that they're going to give away their best AI models for free now. Like if you have Workspace, if you have Gmail, you have the access to it. We have it. It's just awesome. These models are really, really helpful. The agents are going to be really, really innovative and crazy when people start to understand and learn how to use agents in their workplace, in their company, in their sole proprietorship, in their business. It's going to be really, really incredible. So they're running an ad. That's going to be huge for them. It's going to only push their brand forward, I believe. So we'll see how that goes. Ads I really like. Have you guys seen the Uber Eats ones with Matthew McConaughey? Those ones are funny. I don't usually laugh at ads like we don't do like they're not that funny anymore. Those ones are funny. Matthew McConaughey, great. They probably paid him lots of money to do those ads and be a sponsor. Great stuff. I like it a lot. Let's move on. Starbucks is going to limit mobile orders. We talked about this last week, I think. The mobile orders, the in-restaurant orders, they're too crowded. So Starbucks is continuing to attempt to get back to basics under their new CEO. The coffee giant is imposing new limits on mobile orders. Customers using the app will be restricted to 12 items per order as the company tries to reduce waste times and strain on staff. That's a great deal. That's a good move. Good move. It's crazy. They're making more mobile orders than they are in restaurant orders these days, in the sense of what's actually being produced when you walk in there, right? And so they're going to switch it to 12 items per order. They're going to lower the frequency of lower the wait times, lower the strain on the staff. I think it's a good move to help to do that to reintroduce the chain. They're trying to do something to stop that bottleneck that they inherently have because it's a good thing. They have a lot of demand. Chipotle, on the other hand, they're struggling off some tariff announcements from Canada, China, Mexico. Um, they're saying even if the tariffs do take effect, the burrito chain expects just a small increase in its cost of sales. That's because although the 90% of avocados in the US come from Mexico, the country supplies only about half of Chipotle's avocados. So the CEO is saying pretty much, hey, the tariffs do come, they're imposed on Mexico or China. Our avocados are actually only half from Mexico, so we will be okay, and we'll see little impact on the increase of cost and therefore increase of cost to the customer, right? And so a lot of companies have to plan for these different shifts in the political landscape that's happening. You have to plan, have to be nimble, have to understand what's going on, because it may affect the business, it may affect the underlying business. And Chipotle right now is saying that it's not really going to affect their underlying business, do their calculations and what they expect. So we'll keep an eye on that for them. Let's look at Tinder parent company Match Group. Match Group appointed Zillow co-founder Spencer Raskoff as chief executive officer as the online company works to stem declining subscription. So they took over, added Spencer Raskoff, who was a co-founder of Zillow. They're adding him to their CEO to try to really just bring back growth, bring back life on their app. So they have Tinder, Hinge, they have a bunch under Match Group, and they're trying to make sure that they're growing. And he had a note saying, professional update. I'm extremely excited to join Match Group as its CEO. I'm fortunate enough to be on teams that help create leaders in two categories, online real estate and online travel. So he was at Expedia as well. Um, and so he's coming in to kind of shake things up, make things work. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. We'll see. So Microsoft and Alphabet, which is of course Google, released earnings, and one thing that stuck out is cloud growth was a little bit slower. So Cloud growth for both those companies kind of slowed down. You see the numbers for Alphabet, for those YouTubers. And then we're talking about growth, right? So the company's growing, but the rate of growth is slowing. And that's expected, right? When you get to a certain plateau point, you can't keep growing exponentially. At some point, you will slow down, and the market's taking hold on, who's slowing down and what's happening. But Alphabet, Google did announce that they were going to invest 75 billion in capital expenditure in 2025. That's higher than the estimated 60 billion. And so they're going to spend on AI, they're going to spend on other things. They're investing in their own operations and their business to see more growth. So that's interesting. So YouTube's ad revenue did grow 13.8%. Cloud revenue was 12 billion, up 30% year over year. That's a great growth. Again, the market's just like grow faster. Search business, of course, bread and butter, up 12%. Advertising revenue 72, up 10%. So they're growing. It's again, these are growth companies that are doing incredibly well and finding ways to make money in different business units. So um interestingly enough, so MicroStrategy, okay, 1 on 12 people on Earth is now a Spotify monthly active user. After years of spending struggling to turn a profit, Spotify's financial 2024 Wrapped was music to investors' ears. The company reported better than expected Q4 earnings. They had the audio streaming giant Spotify added total of 35 million monthly active users last quarter to hit 675 million in total, beating analyst expectations and marking the company's largest Q4 ever. So they're doing well. I mean, I'm a Spotify user, not an Apple Plus or Apple Music, I should say. What do you guys use? I'm a Spotify again. Spotify, not an Apple Music. Do you like it better? Are you what's the Jay-Z one? Do you guys use that one? Forget even what it's called. No one even uses it. So we'll see. We'll see. So what else? Is there anything else that I wanted to discuss? We talked about NVIDIA and the war with DeepSeek. Um, that kind of came and went yesterday. What else? I don't think there was too much else to really dive into. I think we hit most of the important topics. Let's jump into the questions. The questions of the week. I always love it. I always love getting into the questions of the week. There's a couple good ones. Couple good ones for our questions of the week. The first one is, what type of consumer debt has seen the largest percentage growth in the past 20 years? So you think about consumer debt, credit cards, mortgages, auto loans, or student loans. What type of consumer debt has seen the largest percentage growth? I'm going to say it's either going to be auto or mortgages. It was two things that kind of, and we see in the 20 years, okay, 20-year time period. That's a hard one. I think it's auto or mortgages. Oh, wow. I should have known. Student loans. Wow, interesting. Student loans, a 430% increase. Wow. So if you look at the 430%, if you look at autos, only 91% increase. That's when I definitely was hot on mortgage, it's 80%. Um, Credit card, 33%. But you're looking at consumer debt for student loans. How is that possible? Over the past 20 years, it's just the price of going to schools has gone up that much. That's crazy. Wow. So yeah, that is crazy. And we'll see, how that can affect people going forward. That's crazy. Certainly thought it was auto or mortgages. Question of the day. There are 12 black billionaires in the US. How many can you name? Whew. I know a lot of them that come from sports. LeBron, Michael Jordan. Who else? Sports land is a billionaire. LeBron, Michael Jordan. Why am I blanking on any others? Is there any others sports wise? LeBron, Michael Jordan. Who else? Who's up there sports wise? Okay, let's move to business. Robert, I'm thinking about, I'm forgetting his last name, but Robert, um, definitely one. Man, who else? They kind of keep themselves hidden. Let's see. I don't know the names, so I'm gonna go and look. Okay, so we have David Stewart. Not sure, but I'm gonna look who that was. Alex Karp, Michael Jordan. Oh, Oprah. I missed Oprah. Why? Of course, I missed Sean Jay-Z Carter, Tope Owatonna. Tyler Perry, Rihanna, Tiger Woods. I was gonna say Tiger Woods, but I wasn't really sure. LeBron James, Magic Johnson, and Sheila Johnson. Interesting. So a lot of sports and entertainment, a couple, of course, business people as well that have done that milestone. That's quite interesting. That is quite interesting. So sort the wealth is always interesting. I want to look up these other names that we don't know. I know some of them that were mentioned, but some of them I don't. I want to look those up. That's really interesting. But what is interesting, folks, we do this every week, and we love that you tune in. So make sure you do. We have a lot of exciting things coming up as we always do. So stay tapped in to New Street Advisors Group. Stay tapped into New Street Sports Agency. Big spring coming up. We love doing this, and we'll talk to you very soon.